Hi and welcome to our channel. On the latest interview on Newsroom Africa, mkparty's David Skozana seems to be giving up and almost defeated about the upcoming ad hoc committee and Madlanga commission not going to be binding and yielding as much prosecutions as they had previously wanted as mkparty.
As I said earlier, we've dropped the ball. We've dropped the ball. Literally, we've dropped the ball. We are finding ourselves in this concordance because of our own making. Now, Mkhwanazi is going to appear before the commission, which has no binding powers at all. It's just like a stock fell.
It makes recommendations to the president.
And then what? How many recommendations have been sent to the president? We've spent over R1 billion. Zondo sent those recommendations to the president. What happened? Those people are sitting in the executive. They are cabinet ministers.
We can't help. I wonder, could it be that since they wanted Mkhwanazi Commission investigations to go back to the time when former ministers Becky Kella was in office, which we saw as a trap to call Becky Kella to be questioned and investigated by the commission only to find a lot of dirt on him, which a lot of journalists have already started uncovering so his prosecution can start, where he could face serious jail time. Could the ANC have outsmarted the MK party by saying if they want to go back to a time when Becky Kella was in office? They might as well go back to a time when former President Zuma was in office around 2010, as we heard Premier Panyaza Lesufi say a few days ago. From knowing if they go back to 2010 investigations, they as the ANC are also likely to uncover dirt on their side that could implicate MK President Jacob Zuma.
The political killings, the numbers are shocking. They're still trickling in. We have to extend it even to 2010 and say, let's start at 2010. There are those that stretches beyond 2010. But for purpose of completeness, we say, let's start with 2010 up until now.
Could investigations going back as 2010 be the biggest reason why MK Party is now seeming defeated? Almost preparing the public for a commission like the Zondo Commission that had a lot of cover-ups. Let's watch MK Party's clip and I'll be back with the rest of my commentary.
Our focus on Parliament's ad hoc committee, which says the postponement of its hearings into allegations made by Lieutenant General Ndatla Mkhwanazi was inevitable. Well, joining us for their perspective in studio is the Umkhonto Wesizwe Party's Mr. David Skozana. Mr. Skozana, a good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us. This was inevitable. What do you say to that?
Indeed, you know, Naledi, and good evening to your listeners. You know, it's very unfortunate that we had all the chance when General Mkhwanazi came to Parliament in March. We could have a moral high ground. We could find ourselves in this cocodrum. But because we were slick a bit, and indeed I think our team as well let us down. You know, as you know that before the start of this Madlanga commission, this judicial commission, we could have started before. I mean, they've delayed as well. We delayed even worse. And hence we are finding ourselves in this scenario which we are finding ourselves. And I think we've let the country down as far as I'm concerned, that we could have done things better. Now, you can't blame General Mkhwanazi. General Mkhwanazi came and told the whole world what is happening in South Africa, both in the South African Police Service, in the judiciary. What more can we ask for? He never refused to come to the ad hoc committee. The only problem which he has, he can't, you know, split himself. The public protector as well, he gave him deadlines by today. The Madlanga commission, the evidence leaders, you even had evidence leaders saying, you know what, inverted commas, this is a waste of time. Those, whatever they find is not binding. Now we are held at ransom by the Madlanga Judicial Commission, in our view.
It's interesting because you've got the EFF that says subpoena Mkhwanazi. to stand before the ad hoc committee, and obviously that not passing. But I wonder logistically what that would have looked like. But again, there is the tight time crunches that the committee is dealing with. That from the 24th of September to the 31st of October, really, just how much actually can be achieved in that period?
Let me tell you, it won't be for the first time. You know, the sun won't fall from the sky. You know, and I guess that if Mkhwanazi was available, we can start tomorrow. And I guess himself as well, he would have loved to start tomorrow. But the issue of blaming Mkhwanazi is being mischievous, to say the least. Even if you want to be ferocious as well, we cannot be. We should act within the law as well. And he's a human being. You know, there's no one, I guess, in this country, you know, who's sober, who will blame Mkhwanazi to say why Mkhwanazi is not coming to our committee. We should blame ourselves to say when we had all the time in the world to have Mkhwanazi appearing before us. Hence, I'm saying to you, now Madlanga, the commission has taken Mkhwanazi 4 days now, you know. But as you know, he's the most important witness for him to break the ice. Because if you start with other witnesses, you're going to have a problem. I can tell you now. Now, if he's the one, because he's the one who break the news, and for free, I want to repeat that. You know, you have that national dialogue, which I said it here, which costs us 400+ million to ask whether we have water in this country or why we don't have water, you know. But I'm saying to you, we have to be sober. And how do you subpoena somebody who has not refused to come to the commission? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, there's also the issue of what happens with the testimony or evidence that he gives to the commission. And maybe this is an opportunity for us to also get some clarity for the sake of the South African, the average South African who wants to know. Because we want to watch that testimony very clearly, we really do. Whether it be at the judicial inquiry or at the ad hoc committee, South Africans, I can assure you, are going to be glued. How much of that overlap can be used by the ad hoc committee? Right, what is taken from the Judicial Commission from Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi?
But as I said earlier, we've dropped the ball. We've dropped the ball. Literally, we've dropped the ball. We are finding ourselves in this conundrum because of our own making. Now, Mkhwanazi is going to appear before the commission, which has no binding powers at all. It's just like a stock fell.
It makes recommendations to the president.
And then what? How many recommendations have been sent to the president? We've spent over R1 billion. Zondo sent those recommendations to the president. What happened? Those people are sitting in the executive. They are cabinet ministers. Now, I'm saying to you, you know, South Africans have so much faith in what General Mkhwanazi has told this country. And he substantiated some evidence to say, I've got evidence. And I can tell you, this thing is going to open a can of worms. We can't wait for Mkhwanazi to come and tell the whole world what is happening with South African Police Service. Your drug trafficking, you know, your political killing. And let me remind you, we had that a task team which was headed by the Premier of Gauteng, David Makura. What happened to that? Before we were given the findings, it evaporated into a thin air. And what's going to happen? If this report from Madlanga is going to the president, forget it. Forget it. It ends there.
And then, I mean, there's, of course, then the hope would, if I stick with your argument that you're not optimistic about the recommendations going to the president and them being binding and leading to anything, the pressure then becomes that is put on the ad hoc committee to make recommendations to the National Assembly, and quite the process that then follows after that. And maybe you can talk to me about what you think about how optimistic you are of that. But just quickly, because there are a few other issues that the MK party has raised, that of just how well the ad hoc committee has communicated with potential witnesses to come forward and give evidence. You've raised the issue of former Police Minister Bheki Cele, other witnesses, just actually how efficient we have been in saying to them, these are the dates that you're going to be sitting before this ad hoc committee, schedule it and make sure that you're ready.
I just hope the technical team is doing that with our evidence leader, Norman Arenze, the SC. Because really, if as well we are found wanting on that, it means that we're going to delay. This ad hoc committee might finish next year. We'll be asking for extension, like what Zondo was asking for, 3 months, 6 months, we end up spending so much money. But just to come back on that, you know, the issue of Bheki Cele, I'm told he has not responded as yet. I hope he will respond. But the most important issue, as you said, as you asked me, you know, that it's unfortunate that this thing is going to start with the commission instead of starting with us. But in the same vein, we had a former Chief Justice Ngobo. He said the president had a prima facie evidence. He has to answer. That report was taken to where? To Parliament. What happened to Parliament? The ruling party voted against it. Now, when I'm talking about numbers, I'm talking about numbers because I know exactly what happened before. This is not the first time that we're going to, the matter is going to come before Parliament. It's all about numbers. And you have GNU, you must not forget that. But because of this relationship, which is, I don't know whether it's a, it's a solid relationship between the DA and the African National Congress. If today you ask the DA whether they can say, let's hold the president accountable to Pala, they will refuse because they sit in the executive. If you say to them, let's open up the CR17 bench, they'll refuse. Now, if this matter comes to Parliament as well, we should not behave here as if, when it comes to Parliament, it will depend on the relationship at that time because they've got numbers.
Okay, let me, because I want to consolidate these thoughts that you're putting together, because what I hear and consolidate is you're saying you have no confidence that the allegations that we heard from Lieutenant General Ndlandla Mkhwanazi in July are going to see any sort of real accountability at the end of the commission's process, as well as that of the ad hoc committee, considering the numbers that the GNU holds in Parliament. So is it your position that we're going to go through all of these processes for nil at the end of it?
Remember, we rejected the commission in Parliament, that we must have a commission. We rejected as Umkhonto as a party. We were very clear about that because we knew that whatever happens, it won't be binding. Now, the good thing about what is happening now is that General Mkhwanazi, because those files were taken back to KwaZulu-Natal, and already is within the police, and the police have started their job. They'll arrest people. Whilst we are busy talking about all these things in the ad hoc committee, or their job is being done as we speak here. The good thing is that those files are no longer at the head office.
Yeah.
You know, they are within the political task team. They are doing their job as we speak. And as we have seen, I think 2 members already, though we are told that they were already arrested. But the job is already already started.
Yeah,
that's the good thing about what is happening now.
There's been quite a bit of visible activity. I want to close off with this, though, on the issue of how we move the ad hoc committee forward, the sort of pressure that the MK party is going to be putting on this committee to be able to give us credible, worked through recommendations by October, the pressure that you'll be exerting from this moment moving forward.
Remember that
in 30 seconds, sir.
Remember, we need to have the NPA boss as well. We need IDEC. There's a lot of instances which we need to appear before the ad hoc committee. There's a lot of things which are going wrong in this country. Hence, I said to you earlier, I hope that we are not playing gimmicks. You know, what has to happen here is that our chairperson and Justice Madlanga have to reach an agreement. You know, whether we like it or not, we are finding ourselves because of our own making. If we can have General Mkhwanazi before the 22nd, that would be a bonus for us.
Yeah.
But I want to end up by saying, there's nothing wrong which General Mkhwanazi has done. General Mkhwanazi is available. He does not need to be subpoenaed.
Okay.
Thank you.
The panic and tricks to keep each other's comrades out of jail has become real, and we cannot wait to see what will happen starting from next week, when both the Ad Hoc Committee and Madlanga Commission commence. Do share what you think about the MK Party sounding defeated before the Ad Hoc Committee and Madlanga Commission starts. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave your comments down below.